Alright, listen up. This one's for all the lonely boys out there that feel like they've been dealt a shit hand by life.
Would you want to date me by any chance?
Impossible!
Because Bollywood, once again, has the answer to your problems. The movie starts off with this simp dude named Suri. He's like, here, let me help you off the train, milady. She's like, nah, I'm good. He's like, here, let me get the door, milady. She's like, this is what I married into? I thought you were rich. The whole street is like, what the fuck? How did this guy ascend? Looks maxing, or is that a Russian bride? He pretends he doesn't hear them though. Fade to black, and this is the story of how the simp got the Becky. Becky has a great life. She doesn't even know that the simp dude exists until her dad is like, hey, Becky, come here. Do you know who this guy is? She's like, no. Dad's like, this is X Jump Shot X, the first guy to hit level 500 on Fortnite. She's like, oh my god, that was you? He's like, yeah, that's me. She's like, I've been practicing my building, but these kids keep sniping me and hitting dabs on my corpse. He's like, just get good. She's like, what the fuck do you say? He backs down. She's like, anyway.
It was nice meeting you. Bye.
5 minutes later, he's like, beautiful woman, your dance like a siren's gaze. Your smile like the bride of day. Chew me up and spit me out. Oh, beautiful woman, what I would do to be close to you. Plot twist, dad drops dead, panic ensues. On his deathbed, dad's like, look, I'm gonna die any second and all I want is for my daughter to end up with a high-ranked Fortnite player. He's like, you don't need to convince me, man. Next minute, daughter comes in, father dude's like, look, sweetie, I don't want to leave this world knowing that my daughter isn't married, that my daughter isn't safe. She's like, why can't you just trust me to marry who I want? He's like, you're a woman, sweetie. She's like, that's kind of sexist, dad. He's like, oh no, I'm dying. She's like, fine, I'll marry whoever you say. He's like, cool, I want you to marry X Jump Shot X. She doesn't look too stoked about it. Dad gets a funeral by the river. Couple days later, they get married. She still doesn't look too stoked about it. Fade to black, and we're back to where we started. She looks at her bed like, fuck you for this, dad. Simp dude's like, it's okay. I've been a virgin for 32 years. I don't mind waiting another year. He decides to go sleep in the room of requirement. Becky's like, my husband is ugly and my life is over. Next morning, simp dude's like, milady can have the bathroom. I'll just use this tap to shower from now on. He's like, maybe I'll go say hi. She's like, fuck, I had the weirdest dream last night that my dad died and just to fuck with me, his last wish was for me to marry some nerdy dude. By the second knock, she's like, oh fuck. Dude walks off like, it's okay, you're only supposed to speak to your wife every other day anyway. He tries one last time, she's still inside like, I can't believe this shit actually happened. He's like, it's okay, I'll just leave milady a rose, she'll like that. Later that day, dude's basically like, Suri, we've known each other for 10 years. 10 years since the Xbox Live days, and you didn't invite me, to your own wedding. Suri shows up like, hey man, who you talking to? Dude's like, you were the chosen one. We were supposed to be virgins together. He's like, bro, it's intact. Let me explain. He explains the whole thing. Dude's like, and they said playing Fortnite wouldn't get you girls. Later that night,
Taniji, it's me, Surinder.
She's still not having a bar of it. Even later that night, dude's like, yeah, I got a shield. Here, I'll drop it. Anyone have a spare health pack?
Surinder ji. कुछ बात करनी थी आपसे जरा बाहर आएंगे please.
He's like, sorry guys, I gotta go. Get that squad dub for me though. Outside, she's all like, look, we've been dealt a shit hand. Dude's like, speak for yourself, bitch. This is the best thing to ever happen to me. She's like, I'll never love you, but that does not mean we can't be friends. He must be the first dude in the world that's been friend-zoned by his own wife. She's like, see you around, friend. He's like, okay. Next morning after his front yard shower, he walks in to find that Becky went ahead and made him breakfast.
Good morning.
He's like, maybe this friendship thing ain't too bad after all. She's like, by the way, I just had a bath and wrapped some of my bath water for you to take to work. You know, if you get lonely, because that's what friends do. On his way to work, he's like, a girl gave me this. A girl gave me this. The hallucination begins. He's high as fuck from this girl's bathwater. He carries around her bathwater like Prometheus carried the flame. For the first time in his life, his simping is finally paid off. He buys his girl a new car. After that sip of bathwater, he's clearly thirsty for more. They go to the movies together. Becky's having a great time. Suri notices how she's smiling at the Chad-looking dude on screen. And this is where it all begins. Dude looks in the mirror like, what if I was a Chad and my hair was on point and I had all the swag, like a superhero, or maybe a gangster, or I dance like Usher, rode like Lance, kung fu like Bruce. He decides to give it a go. He's like, yeah, I just did 150 on my BMW, went to the gym after. Becky ignores him. He's like, fuck this, time to lie down and rot. Meanwhile, Becky sees a dancing poster on her daily walk. She's like, hey, could I have permission to join this dance competition? He's like, no. She's like, man, the patriarchy sucks. But psych, she can go because he left her the money to sign up. Those Twitch donations coming in handy. She's like, hey, X Jump Shot X, thanks for the tier 3 sub.
Mention not.
Next day, dude's like, bro, can I tell you something personal? His mate's like, what is it, my man? He's like, I want to be a Chad. His mate's like, bro, you've come to the right place. Look at me. Look at my hair. Where do you think the Chad meme came from? It was me. He's like, all I want is for my wife to love me, touch me, feel me. And if I have to change every part of my body for that, then so be it. That's some deep shit, bruv. From now on, the age of the simp is over. The rise of the Chad has just begun. The transformation begins. Finally, the transformation is complete. He spots his wife dancing, tries to blend in with the dancers.
That was fantastic.
Everyone in the room gets handed these numbers so they can partner up for the upcoming dance competition, and of course, the dude and his wife get the same number. Because love, duh. He tries to run away, but his inner monologue kicks in. He's like, I'm a Chad now. I'm confident, I'm groovy, I have swag, my hair is on point. She's like, hey, I'm Becky, what's your name? Dude drops his nuts. He's like, we have the same number, see? She's like, yeah, what's your name though? He's like, Raj. My name is Raj. She's like, fuck, what a unique name. He tries to flex his new Chad powers by saying some cringe shit. She's like, yeah, I guess I'll see you around, Raj. Later that night, his mate's like, bro, I thought you were going to be a Chad for life. What's this Bruce Wayne alter ego bullshit? He's like, look, I want to win my wife over fair and square. Suri can never get laid, which is why I have to become Raj and steal my own wife, cucking myself in the process. His mate's like, this is more complicated than Inception. He's like, bro, we all have to ascend. Like Baba Nanak, this is my ascension. His mate sticks the fake mustache on. Back at the house, Becky's like, yeah, I met this guy called Raj today. He was cool. Dude's like, hopefully he isn't hot, otherwise I could never compete. Alright, time out. We have to talk about the elephant in the room. This dude shaves his mustache off, spikes his hair up, and his own wife doesn't even recognize him. Like, not even a slight, you look kind of familiar.
Tani partner, aapne bataya nahi.
Dance classes continue. After class, he's like, here, let me drop you off, milady. He attempts to flirt with his own wife.
कहते हैं पहली बारिश में भीगते हुए जो मांगो वो जरूर मिलता है.
अच्छा जी.
हाँ जी.
Very good.
She gets home and she's like, oh my god, low-key Raj was right. Raj is so romantic. But just as she starts enjoying her life, she's reminded that she was forced to marry a simp. Even though they're the same person. Back at another day of dancing, she's slowly realizing that Raj can't dance for shit and gets emo over it because she could never get a high rank in Fortnite, so doing well in the competition was all she had left. Raj is like, hey look, I know you want to win and I'm dead weight, so maybe I'll just quit and you can find another dancing partner. She's like, that was kind of emo. Next day she's like, hey, my dance partner Raj isn't here. I'm afraid he might have quit. Can you give me his home address? Dude's like, yeah, of course. I'm sure you're not a serial killer. Let me just give you all this information I have on him. She rocks up to the address. His mate is like, oh shit, abort, abort, abort. He calls up Suri and is like, yo man, your wife is here looking for you. I mean, not you, your alter ego. He's like, oh, okay, I'm on my way.
Hello dear, never fear, Raj is here.
He's like, so, what brings you to my house? She's like, nothing, just wanted to check up on you. Meanwhile, this dude is like, ma'am, that is your husband in a wig. But it's a good thing logic has no place in this movie. She's like, look, Raj, I know we don't know each other very well, but I like you, and I want to keep you as my dancing partner. I won't give up on you.
You are my best friend.
She decides to give us all an introduction to the basics of dancing. The lesson clearly pays off.
Superb. That was superb.
They make it to the finals. Back at the house, she's like, hey friend, me and my buddy Raj just made it to the finals. He's like, Raj, eh? She's like, yeah, Raj is so quirky, unique, and awesome. You'd have to meet him to understand. I just can't get over how ridiculous this whole idea is. Who the fuck greenlit this movie? So why should we invest in your script? Well, for the story I wrote, we have a nerdy guy, a popular girl. Nerdy guy steals popular girl from popular guy, right? Wrong. Nerdy guy steals popular girl from himself. He's already married to her, but he realizes it's not enough. His biggest competition is himself. So he tries to get his wife to cheat on him with himself. That's dope as fuck. Back at another day of dancing.
I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. आपको लगी? I'm really sorry. You bloody bitch! Please mind your tongue. I said sorry, na? Bloody bitch.
I like how these girls are yelling insults at each other and everyone else around them is like, just another day. Raj is like, yo babes, I'm the Chad around here, I'll deal with this. But the only thing that beats a Chad is another Chad. A Giga Chad. Raj is like, sorry to bother you sir. Becky's still a bit upset.
Bloody bitch.
Giga Chad comes in with the scare. This movie randomly turns into Mad Max. She ends up getting her revenge. Dude slowly realizing his wife is a dominatrix. Back at the Batcave, his mate's like, so she was driving and you were sitting in the back? He's like, that is correct. Mate's like, bro, what the fuck? You're supposed to be a Chad. Did you forget? Here, let me remind you. Chad. C for charisma. H for honesty. A for aggression. D for domination of pussy. All these things is what makes a Chad. Now walk like a Chad. Next day, he flexes his newfound power. She's like, Raj be looking like a snack. He drops her off outside his own house and he's like, yo, tomorrow is my birthday and even though we don't have dance, I was thinking we could go on a date. She's like, I'm married. He's like, I know. She's like, what? He's like, I mean, wow, I didn't know that, but we can still hang out, right?
Okay, Raj partner.
I'll pick you up tomorrow 9 a.m. Amritsar time, ji.
I shit you not, this guy spends his own birthday simping the shit out of this girl. He's like, woo, it's my birthday and I'm in love with who you may ask, with you baby girl, whoa. She's like, wow, so romantic. He's like, thanks, I spent 2 weeks painting this. Can we just talk about how creepy this would be in real life? Like imagine going on a date with someone you've only known for a couple of weeks and they're like, I painted this mural in your honor, queen. Love me! She's on the back of the bike feeling guilty for emotionally cheating on her husband with her husband. Is it even considered cheating at that point if it's your own husband? My IQ clearly is not high enough to understand this film. Raj is like, little does this bitch know. He dresses up as himself to test the hypothesis. He's like, notice me. Hey, notice me. Please, queen, acknowledge me. She's like, man, do you guys hear something? He's like, what about now? She's like, oh, hey, Raj, confirming his suspicions. He's like, we all live to serve you, queen. She's like, oh, how cute. Definitely not creepy. They end up at this random mosque. Raj starts hallucinating like, man, imagine if my wife loved me for who I was. He's like, nah, that's way too unrealistic. After a bit more simping, he drives her to the top of this mountain for one final simp.
Oh, ji.
Do you know how pissed I would be if I lost power because some dude was trying to propose to a girl that was already his wife?
ये क्या है राज?
Love है जी तानी partner. रब दी सौ सच्चा love है.
हर लड़की का सपना होता है कि कोई उसे दीवानों की तरह प्यार करे. I'm a married girl, Raj.
He's like, haha, it's okay. I guess I'll just die alone. She's like, I wish we could be together, but my dad already ruined my life. Please leave, Raj, while I deal with my depression. He's like, fuck me. I thought this plan was bulletproof. This dude needs to be locked up right next to Hannibal Lecter for the amount of manipulation he's put this poor girl through.
Don't teach me law. I know law like the back of my hand.
His mate's like, hey man, if she likes you instead of the other you, why don't you just tell her that they're both, well, you? He's like, nah, not yet. We gotta stretch this movie out for at least 3 hours. Back at the house, he's like, so, how was your day? She's feeling guilty as fuck for liking another man. He rubs salt in the wounds by asking, so, how is Raj? She's like, a married woman shouldn't have feelings for another man. What's wrong with me? Meanwhile, he's like, yes, everything is falling into place as I expected. Next day, she starts hallucinating, thinking about Raj. She finally snaps and it's like, I fucking hate you. All you do is stay inside playing Fortnite all day, trimming your little mustache. I'm done. We're done. I'm leaving you. Cut to more crying. Next day, this dude is like, yo man, your wife is here looking for you. I mean, your alter ego. He's like, alright man, I'm on my way. He's like, hey, how you doing, babes? You thought about my proposal from the mountain the other night? She's like, you know what? You kind of look like my husband, but not at the same time. He's like, no, I don't. She's like, anyway, I hate my husband. He's a fucking loser, but I like you. He's like, not sure how to take that. She's like, I don't know what to do. I want to leave him and be with you, but I promised my dad. He's like, pull yourself together, bitch. We have a dance competition to win. Cut to the competition. How on earth are they going to beat that insane choreo?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Tani. and Mr. Raj.
She's like, fuck me, he followed me all the way here? I can't even ditch this cunt.
Hello, Tani partner.
She's like, all this time, it was you. You put my name in the goblet of fire.
You put my name in the goblet of fire.
Everyone's like, yay, lying in deceit. Here's the kicker, right? After she finds out that her husband has been lying to her, lying is an understatement. I don't even know what the fuck to call this. She's like, oh my god, how romantic. I can love you. Ha ha ha. Keep the glasses off though.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. and Mrs. Sani.
All's well that ends well.
I don't even want to look up what the creators were thinking, but I will.
Adi doesn't make just make a film, just make a film.
Does someone know what that means? Because I don't.
When a film director is so much excited, obsessed, it's from the heart, then nobody should stop him. Nobody should even discuss with him.
I wish someone sat down with this guy and discussed why making this movie would be a terrible idea.
I'm very, very impressed by the fact that Adi, after having made some really wonderful films, says, I'm going to make this. It's very brave.
It was brave. Sinking that much money into a film where a guy tries to steal his own girl, that's bold.
He was very sure what type of girl he was.
I had no knowledge whatsoever.
We tested a lot of girls and we saw a lot of girls and they selected this particular girl and so we thought she looks too simple.
It's kind of rude. If she looks too simple, what kind of Area 51 bitch were these cunts looking for?
I think Suri is one of the more real guys I've felt and done.
Suri is so cute.
First day he walked into the set, I think he said hello and I didn't even bother and I thought somebody saying hello because he was in his costume.
So this guy just flat out admitted to being an elitist douchebag.
I didn't even bother.
Raj and the whole metamorphosis of his character. How is Suri getting all these ideas? And that's where he has this so-called best friend, consultant, mentor called Bobby. Bobby being a little more fashionable.
Yeah, I'm not sure if fashionable is the word I would use to describe Bobby.
So-called Sector 17Y.
So it's a very given characters. For one guy, we're looking at all that he can do. And one guy, all that he should not do, cannot do.
Hello dear, never fear, Raj is here.
I think I'm blessed that I could get access to a holy place like this. I could go and take Omatha. Specifically had this thing that somebody is teaching somebody how to dance in a way that somebody understood. If you can understand what I've said.
Love stories are never ordinary. They're extraordinary. It doesn't matter whose love story it is. What matters is what the love story is. And this is what Bana Di Jodi tells us.
Tell us what? This wasn't even a love story. It's just 3 hours of putting that girl through mental torture. And then she forgives him in the end. If anything, it's a film about fucking forgiveness.
There is one person you are and one person that you want to be. And at the end of this film, the message is, it's always nicer to be who you are.
Well, they sure took a roundabout way of showing that. If you enjoy these videos, check out my Patreon to support me making more of these. But at this point, I just need the money for therapy.
Hello dear, never fear, Raj is here.
If you have any other film suggestions, let me know on Insta or Twitter and sure.
Bitch.